Hey everybody, we begin 13 News at 4 with breaking news from the State House.
Within the last hour, Governor Braun declared a new gas tax holiday.
Our State House reporter Emily Longnecker was there for that announcement. She joins us now live with what it means for Hoosiers. And Emily, the gas tax suspension had been set to end tomorrow, but the break continues, huh?
Yeah, not ending anymore. The governor announcing today that he was extending it for another 30 days. You know, guys, we've heard the governor say all summer that to extend it past tomorrow would require a special session or lawmakers to get involved here and come into a special session. That is according to the law. But the governor announcing today he was declaring a new energy emergency. This one, he said, was based on the wildfires in Canada and the war between Russia and Ukraine. And because he said he was declaring a new energy emergency, that essentially started the clock all over again in his ability to extend the gas tax suspension. Now, the previous energy emergency that allowed for the suspensions that we've seen most of the summer was based on the war in Iran. Governor Braun said he consulted with the Attorney General and leaders in the House and Senate before making today's announcement.
I would wonder who would probably try to challenge it when there's broad buy-in from current state government.
The law is very clear that you can do an emergency for a maximum of 120 days. He said that repeatedly. He's done his 120 days, so he comes up with an excuse, a false premise.
And so you see Democratic State Representative Ed Delaney pushing back on the governor's assertion that he was able to declare a new energy emergency for a different reason. Now, during this time, you know, local governments and INDOT, they have already lost revenue for road projects because of these gas tax suspensions. That revenue got backfilled with the surplus. The governor announcing that last month. Governor Braun saying today that the state would do the same thing again with these suspensions, again backfilling it with the surplus, and that he would reevaluate this latest suspension 30 days from now. So he says, you know, under this new energy emergency that he has another 120 days to work with, but he's going to take it in 30-day increments and evaluate the situation as it comes. Dustin, Felicia.
Okay, and he has the backing of House Speaker Todd Houston, who sent a statement essentially saying the same thing, that they'll use reserves to make up for that lost revenue for the roads.
I'm sure the two of you will be discussing this on Crossroads Politics this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Emily Longnecker.
We sure will.
Yeah. Okay, now to another big story today. Something is finally happening at the site of Lafayette Square Mall. People have been wondering for years, what's going to happen with that space?
Yes, so construction is underway on a brand new affordable apartment building just north of the mall building. Rich now explains how this is the first phase of a much bigger plan for the property.
Dig. Community leaders joined real estate developer Fabio de la Cruz for the ceremonial groundbreaking for Lafayette Square. The $48.8 million project with 144 apartment homes is scheduled to open in 2027, offering affordable housing in an area where rental housing is scarce.
This project will address an incredible need. This neighborhood has a 99% occupied rental rate. And what we're going to do is bring first-class housing. We're going to bring it below market cost.
Lafayette Square is being financed through low-income housing, federal and state tax credits, and bonds. Monthly rent is promised to be $500 to $600 below market. The building will be 100% solar-powered to control utility cost. Lila will have a first-floor licensed daycare.
I just want our community to keep growing stronger for everyone, to work together to make our neighborhood a better place.
Lafayette Square is brand new construction on property just north of the main mall building. So what about the mall over there? The mall has been closed for about 4 years now. De La Cruz says his consultants tell him to tear it down, but he promises to preserve at least the entrance as the neighborhood called the Square is developed on the 300 acres mall property.
I believe in legacy. I believe the reason why we call the place the Square, because we like to keep the legacy. I like to recreate the entrance of that place. I like to be sure that people keep the emotional connection that they have for a lot of years.
But new affordable housing comes first. In Indianapolis, Rich Knight, 13 News.
All right, good to have the update there. Now to the east side, the near east side of Indy, where someone shot a 16-year-old girl today. It happened shortly before 5 near 13th and Dearborn. The girl was found shot on the scene. At last check, she was at the hospital in critical condition. Metro Police are also looking into what caused a crash that killed 2 people this morning on the north side. 3 others were hurt. Happened just before 3 at North Meridian and 86th Street. Police say it appears an SUV with 4 men inside ran a red light and crashed into a car. The driver of that car died along with one of the people in the SUV. 2 of the 3 survivors were critically injured.
In the last hour, we learned one person was arrested after a deadly crash last night at 96 and Allisonville Road. Police say the suspect was seen on flock cameras speeding through the roundabout before crashing into another car. The driver of the car that was hit died. Fishers police took the other driver into custody for OWI. Also, weight loss drugs are still proving to be the money makers for pharmaceutical giants. Eli Lilly just posted another blowout quarter. The company said Zepbound and Mounjaro sales helped drive earnings well above Wall Street expectations. Plus, Foundayo is continuing to gain momentum. That's Lilly's newest once-daily weight loss pill. The company reported nearly $23 billion in revenue for the second quarter alone, and it's now raising its full-year sales forecast to $87 billion.
Kids on Indy's near south side now have a brand new place to play. Today, Garfield Park unveiled a brand new playground. Here's a look. It sits near the park's historic Pagoda and Arts Center. The playground is the latest piece of Lilly Endowment's multi-million-dollar investment in parks all over the city.
The Lilly Endowment for their commitment to this park and all parks across the system, and their effort really aligns with the mission of the Friends, which is to ensure the preservation and evolution of the public benefits of Garfield Park.
And historic park there. The Lilly grant also funded restoration efforts for the sunken garden fountains. They reopened earlier this summer, but work continues. Friends of Garfield Park are still fundraising to support those historic fountains for the long term.
Oh, I love to see the kiddos outside playing, especially as many get back to school.
That's right.
Some might not have started just yet. Some might be starting right now.
This is the last day. Yeah, this is the last day of summer for a lot of kids.
Where did it go? Where did the summer go?
I know. Seriously.
Well, but it's still here.
It's still here.
It's not the break part. Summer is still here as far as weather's concerned.
Well, it certainly is going to feel like, especially over the next several days, it may actually get a little bit warmer throughout our entire 7-day forecast. And we're going to have to add some rain chances back into the mix. Not a lot of rain chances.
We got the state fair coming up.
I know. It looks actually like we are going to get some days that are going to have some rain chances, some days that are going to be dry. Taking a look right now at temperatures, you know, this isn't too bad. 83, it's not too far off from where we should be for this time of year. Some locations a little bit warmer than that. There's a 87 showing up for New Powell right now, 82 for Pendleton, for Anderson. These temperatures probably going to hold there over the next several hours. When you look at the larger picture, not much change. Nothing major coming our way. There is a little bit of a cool down to our west into parts of Illinois, but that's because that's where the next rain chance is. And when you look at the larger picture, you do see this system pushing east. As it moves east, it's likely going to increase our cloud cover. Most of this is going to dry up as it approaches, but at some point we will start to see some moisture move in, and our rain chances by tomorrow look a lot better than they were for today. So for the next few hours, you do get a pretty nice forecast out of this for the rest of the evening. Clear skies for the most part. Some of you in the northwestern part of our viewing area, let's say up to Lafayette, may have additional cloud cover and maybe even a sprinkle during the evening or overnight, but for the most part, it's going to be a dry forecast through this evening. Very, very comfortable. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures into the 60s overnight, and then we see those temperatures warm up tomorrow, depending on how quickly we get the showers in there in the early part of the day into the 70s, but I think we'll be able to make it up into the 80s, and yes, there is that chance for a few showers, especially around midday. Now coming up, I'll walk you through this in Future Track, show you what to expect and the several more rain chances that we have in the 7-day, but there's also some pretty nice dry days in there as well, and I'll cover that for you coming up in just a few minutes.